Today we're going to cover changes to data set. This means that when there are addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division changes to a set of data, how does that affect your center as well as your spread? Center was shown through mean, median, and mode, and we also learned that the spread was IQR and standard deviation. So these are different statistical analyses that we could use to understand how changes can affect data. Let's start with a warm-up. So fill out this table with this data set, the first row. As a hint, I have placed this entire data set in order for you as seen in the second one. Please fill out this table, pause the video so that you can work through it, and then check your answer. Okay, so hopefully you're able to see that the mean was 21.6, median is 19, as you see in the bottom row below the table. 19 is the middle number, right? Mode is 16, there are two 16s. IQR is 30 minus 16, Q3 minus Q1. Q1 is the left-hand side of 19, and Q3 is on the right-hand side. And then standard deviation is 7.17. So let's see, if each data is increased by 3, how does that impact your table? So here, again, I have helped you increase your data set by 3. Now let's try again the same method to figure out your mean, median, mode, IQR, and standard deviation. Okay, so after using whether it be by hand or through your calculator, you should be able to see this. If you notice from your left and your right, mean, median, and mode changes. The center of your data set changes, but the IQR and the standard deviation remains the same. Okay? This could have easily, your mean and your standard deviation could have easily been calculated on your calculator, right? We've learned previously how to do that, how to input your data set, and then how to give an output with your mean and standard deviation. Median and mode are easy to calculate, and IQR is easy to calculate as well by hand. So again, we see that the spread does not change, but the center changes when you're increasing or decreasing a data set. So that means when you're adding or when you're subtracting, the center changes, but your spread does not. So quick summary, center of data increases or decreases by X. So if it's subtract by 5, each one of your data set, then you know that center of data is going to change. But the spread of data would not, and so that would remain unchanged in an addition or subtraction situation. So now let's take a look. This should be our addition and subtraction, right? What would happen if each data is now multiplied by 3? How does that impact your table? So again, I've multiplied the data set by 3 for you, and try to work out your stats again. Pause the video. Okay, so you should, in this case, see that all the stats changes compared to your original data set. This means that your center of data changes, evidently because you've multiplied your entire data set by 3, right? But your IQR and your standard deviation also changes. So this tells us that in this case, it's not just the IQR and the standard deviation that changes, but the mean, median, and mode also remains changed. This is a situation for multiplication and division. So when we multiply or divide data set, we can summarize as thus: the center of data, if you multiply or divide the original data set by whatever X value, then your center of data is also a multiple of whatever that value was. The spread of data, same thing. So the spread of data here, the IQR and standard deviation changes as well. So you have to multiply or divide your original data by X.